Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Hello and welcome to High Convergence Seminar Webinar, session 5 out of 6. As we discussed before, today we are reviewing the sequence of our presentation. So we started with a hook, your audience, express your expertise, which basically is the information nuggets. We I propose to have the title. Then you share your personal story, which basically why you are doing what you are doing. And just to recap quickly on the personal story will start with a pain point. And from the pain point, you will drive defining moment, why make you decide to change, and then the happy outcome. And we always talk about having at the end something along the line of we are here describing some information like example of that is I basically read these books and I developed a system which I would like to offer you. Then after the story, we go with agenda. The agenda is based on the concept that adult learning would like to be organized and understand what exactly they will learn through the agenda. After that, we talk about the 4 or 5 challenges you have. You can have 3, you can have 5, you can have 10, you can have 9. You can have so many challenges. The concept here is if you will drive or you challenge your audience or your clients to what they decide to do. And the challenges, the last challenge is basically themselves. And then you review the agenda and you can share an irresistible offer. And we went through the irresistible offer last time and described what kind of costing, what kind of promotion, what kind of urgency you can build. So if you follow this sequence, you will realize that all what you are doing is you are basically going through why your audience will challenge themselves and a step over their defining moment. So I want you to consider the following spin around your presentation. You are presenting basically to invite your audience to join your program, because all the transformation, all the pain, you have to believe that all of your pain will be gone once all the pain will be gone, like they'll have no pain once they join your program. So you have to visualize that your presentation in this contest is basically a step over the defining moment and the objections of the defining moment that your audience has to do. And the part of these objections we'll talk about it today, which is proactively address objections, and then how to close the deal effectively. So how to be proactive, address objections. A quick example of that is within your offer, where I had before proactive address objections, you should consider having questions and answers, or frequently asked questions. So if you have questions and answers or frequently asked questions, you will be proactively addressing the objections of your audience to join your program. And we can go through different questions, and you will need between, here I'm talking about the 3 stops objections. in reality, you will need between 5 to 7 questions where your audience will be seeing. Now, some concept will drive this. Okay, so what are the sample of the questions? So one of the top questions is this system for me? So when you stand in proactively addressing objection, you say, and now I want to get you through some of the frequently asked questions from my current customers. And the frequently asked questions, you basically show the first question, is this system for me, or this solutions for me, or this offer for me? Now, who will do the answer? As a rule of thumb, or as a governing rule, which I apply all the time, and I will never recommend something different, you are the one who asks the question, and you are the one who answers the questions. You will not allow your audience to answer any questions or provide any feedback from the room. And the question here is why you don't allow your audience to ask questions from the floor. If you remember this sequence, you went through this whole sequence and you have an offer. Now, when this offer is disclosed to the room, there are individuals who want to rush to buy right away. There are individuals who are thinking about it and they want to negotiate a better deal. And there are process people who would like to know more to step in. And moreover, there are the relationship people who will not buy if others will not buy. So these four behaviors will exist in the room. In my course, Sales and Closing Deals, I talk about 9 attributes of different customers. And some of them are the delayers or the greedy. And some of them are the white hat. And it will come in a different context, but if you have access to this video, you may want to watch it because it will help you understand the mood and the feedback of the room. So if you come and ask questions and allow the forum or the clients or the people sitting across of you in the room to answer these questions, most likely you will not be able to sell, because any question will allow any answer that you don't like or it push the barrier against your offer. The one sitting beside him or her in the room will use this answer to delay further the decision. And that's why you should not allow the room to answer. And if you disagree with me, you can write it in the chat room. If you would like to discuss it, we can open the questions later on. On the same topic, somebody will come and ask, okay, so what will happen? What will happen is if somebody will stand and ask me a question, you don't answer from the stage, and what you say is a great question, I will answer it during the rest of my presentation. And if they will if you answer it, you answer it. If you don't answer it, you come at the end of the presentation and say, yeah, I would like to take these questions offline because we run out of time. You always try to avoid debate or discussions between you and the room, because you will lose in it. No matter what you will good, what's your answer, no matter what your answers are great, there are always somebody in the room who will not agree, or he will not accept. The most difficult scenarios we have been seeing is when someone from the floor will say, yeah, what about this book? I read this concept in this book or this book. What you will be doing here is, if you accept these submissions from the crowd, you will automatically delaying any subscription to your program, because the process people would like to read this book. And to be honest with you, sometimes we have been seeing books which has never existed. So somebody has an impression, and then he will put a title of a book. The title of the book is actually wrong, and sometimes the book is not relevant. And all what this will do is will pollute the atmosphere that there are information you don't know about it. And now, if you agree that this book is good and you have been using it, you will not have an original program. And the white hat buyers will not buy from somebody who will read books and then come and give them information. White hat buyers will always wants to buy original books, original content, original people. They don't like to have people who just went around, look for information, and then come and spill back the information. If you, like many other people I meet, are in this scenario, you need to spin it a little bit, so it looks like it has an aspect of it which is original to you and it has your knowledge. Remember, the premises here is people will not buy information from you because the information existed in all the internet. People will buy your personal experience in applying the information. And it has to be clear. I go to so many events. I was actually in a meeting yesterday, and I was discussing a specific aspect of personal branding. And then the business owner introduced to me this employee who is going right now through a branding course in SAIT or somewhere. She was going to a branding course somewhere. So it was very interesting that they will equate what I do with a college. And when I start to explain, I was told, what you say is different, but it's very practical and applicable. What we take in the college is different. Another example I can share with you is one of my current partners with a sport-based group. They have been taking courses in branding and sales and marketing through different government programs and as indigenous. And when we joined, when I met with them and explained a plan, they came and said, this is completely different than what we learn in school. So you have to live with the premise that your expertise is the reason for people to buy from you. The way you apply the knowledge is a unique way because you are only applying it. So if you are in this boat, keep going and I can help you a lot. If you are not in this level where you come and say, my expertise is the differentiation, I would tell you one thing. Let's sit together and figure out why people will pay you the premium. Any doctor, any dentist, any engineer, anybody who charge the premium, they charge the premium because of their expertise. Okay? So when we come to the proactively addressing objections, we talk about questions and the answers. And these questions are driven from the objections. So one of the common objections we've seen is this system for me. So is this system for me? The immediate answer will be yes, which is basically affirmation. And then you can explain the type of people or the type of businesses who will benefit from this service or this system. If you do personal training or emotional training, one of the common questions, will this education or will this program work in any situation? So the answer will be, it must be yes. And the answer is yes will be what? Then you explain the benefit of your program. If you are selling coaching and training coaches, and one of the common questions we have been seeing now is, I do have a coach. Why should I buy this service? So we said one of the recommended answers will be, everybody needs more than one coach. And I always give the example that a soccer team will have at least 7 coaches. A hockey team will have at least 7 coaches, because not all the coaches are the same, and not everybody has expertise in a specific aspect of the business. It's basically a myth that somebody will have a coach for everything. I cannot coach in everything, and I cannot coach everybody. I can coach in specific areas where I have a massive expertise, and I can evaluate the quality of some other services in different areas, because I have been doing so many startup companies from end to end, from start to exit. So because of that, I have to understand all the aspects of the business, but the areas which I'm good at, for example, are different. So for example, I'm not good at bookkeeping. I'm not good at record keeping, but I'm good at understanding financial statements and what is the rationale and what is underlying underneath, and how is this financial statements can play, and what are the gaps in it. I understand procurement, and understand client supplies or supplier management protocols, but I'm not the best guy to help in this aspect. I understand positioning of the business. I understand sales process. I can help with different aspects there. So I can help with the investment relations. I can help with raising fund. So every coach has a sweet spot. And if you ever have somebody who will come and say, I can help you in all aspects of your business to grow, you have to stop and fire these people. I've seen them all the time, and they don't actually deliver to any business, because not all of us are competent and 100% knowledgeable in the different areas of your business. So I cannot do procurement, but I understand the process. So if you should be like, so if you are at a different level of your business, you will engage different levels of coaches, and sometimes you have to bring these coaches together in one room. And historically, we didn't have business coaches. Like when we start our life, our professional life, there was no such thing called business coach or life coach. There was board of advisors, and there was board of directors. And the board of advisors are your trusted network, people who you trust their opinion, where they can give you advices on different aspects of your business. And I used to know, I had a bunch of business of advisors, and I would go to each one of them at least once a month, and I will have 2 to 4 hours, and I will sit and I will explain and I will discuss and I will share the ideas, and they give me some feedback. And out of these discussions, I create an opinion, and I may go and shop a different opinion with different coaches. But when I have these advisors, there was one for finance and investor relationship. There was one for sales and marketing penetration. There was one for legal and documentation. So having 3 to 5 advisors, now we transfer them to be coaching, because the business is not structured to have boards. The point I want to say here is they are not different. So when I have this business advisors, you now replace them with coaches. Or the type of business you help don't have advisors, it has coaches. In the past, these advisors will get some options in the company or will get some payment in exchange of giving the advices. Okay, so when we have board of advisors, it's different than the coaches. I don't think so. So the question is, I do have a coach. Do I need another coach? You can phrase this question, and I know Rick and a couple of the other people in the room here or are taking this course are very good wordsmith people, and they actually copywriter. And English is their almost all of you, English is their first language. Okay, so you can phrase these questions in a different way. Another way to say these questions: I'm okay, or I'm good. I already have a coach. So the answer for this question, you tell me, hold on, this is not a question. No, this is a question, because the questions and the answers are objections. So one of the objections is, oh, I'm good enough. I have a coach. I know what I'm doing. The immediate answer is, if you agree on the sequence, you are sitting there, you raise your hand. It means you still have the pain. It demonstrates that your current operation don't supply you with the solutions you need. And that's why you may want to consider alternative options or concurrent options and join the program. The point I want to make it clear here is, you don't diminish or speak negatively on any coach whatsoever, even if you know that this coach is bad. So in one scenario before, there was some names, and out of being in the industry for so long, you know the quality of the people in the industries, right? You know where they fit. You maybe work with them for a certain time. So if somebody will come and bring one of these interesting names, I call them interesting names. I cannot say negative words, because the minute you say negative words about them, as an intelligent buyer, I will not buy from you, because we don't buy Coca-Cola because Pepsi is bad. We buy Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola has a better flavor. That's right. Or a different flavor. So when you bring in the coaching schemes, the objection, I do have a coach right now, you may careful that you don't downgrade or speak negatively about any other coaching systems around you. All what you need to say is, you need to diversify. There are different coaches for different things, and you can, in my offer already, you have a free trial or a money back guaranteed, so nothing to lose here. You can always subscribe and evaluate the program. You never say subscribe and get your money back if you don't like it. You always say subscribe and evaluate the program, and then make a decision for yourself. Another question of objections is, I am good right now, and I don't need this program. It's awesome. If somebody will say this, the answer is, if you have been here for so long and you have been agreeing in all the pains you have, it means that you are not good right now. It means that there is something for you that you want to try. So don't let your coconut or in your head, the coconut above your shoulders, or don't let your head drive you in a way further from the benefit. And then you can elaborate on the benefit of the program that you will get. One of the other objections we've seen as well, and please, if you have objections, I will not talk about them. You want to share them with the group, and I can give you maybe an intelligent way of addressing this objection. You may want to write it in the chat line, or we may want to talk about it after the course here when we conclude this session. Another objections will be is I bought so many programs and none of them works. So if you have this question, or so you can always say the answer is buying the program without the accountability partner and the clarity of the step by step we have to produce results will not produce on its own. It reminds me with a coach. It reminds me with a coach who or somebody who will go to the gym and buy the gym ticket, and I will not go to the gym, and basically by buying the gym tickets or the gym subscription or the gym membership, I will believe I will be fit and the referral weight, so and reduce weight. So what I want to do, is I can address the applicability we can address the applicability of how our system is practical and stuff like that. If you understand what I'm doing now is I am using the proactively addressing objections, listing the objections in front of the audience, and I will go through them again. At this point, you may destroy your conversion rate, because at this point, if you cannot address these objections and be convincing, people will not buy, and they will impact others. So if somebody will say, I bought so many systems and none of them works, or I don't need another system, you now have an opportunity to stand up and say, here is our offer, and how our offer is comparable to the others. Can you name names on the others? No, yeah, you can if you like. Remember, when we had our sequences and the challenges, we avoided bringing other systems, except when we have testimonials, which will say, I am so and so. I tried so many systems, like 1, 2, 3, and none of them works for me. I joined your system, and then I got these results. Okay, so we never really target comparison. We only target. We may also target comparison to others when we talk about you don't know what to do, or you subscribe to the wrong program. So here you try to re-emphasize this sequence. You try to re-emphasize this point. You try to affirm that if you bought different programs before, don't compare your programs with my programs. Please, if you have other objections you've seen in the chat line, please put them in the chat line, and I'll be more than happy to discuss them with you. So another question will be very common if you are selling a large program will be, I don't have cash flow to pay, and or I don't want to use my credit card. These two questions are these objections, let's just call them objections, okay? Remember, we will call it frequently asked questions, and we will basically present the objection, a question to you guys, or you should ask me, I got this question all the time. Should I say the objection as a question format with a question mark at the end, or just a sentence? Do you know what? It doesn't matter. My experience demonstrates that it does not matter if you say it frequently asked questions and you basically put a statement in front of the people and you ask them, what do you think about this question? Or do you like this question? You'll be surprised how many will stand and say, oh, sir, or oh, madam, this is not a question. So when you do frequently asked questions or questions and answers and you put statements in front of the people, you'll be shocked that people can answer this question. And please take this concept or this observation and practice it out with your friends. When you go with your friends or your networking events and just ask them the question, say, can I ask a question? Tell me how you can answer this question. If I have I do have a business coach, I don't need to buy your system. Can you answer this question for me? You'll be surprised that more than 80% of the people in your surrounding will start to answer the question, which is not phrased as grammarly corrected or grammarly correct question. Because we are wired as human to understand what we want to understand and respond to it without being grammar perfect or grammar correct. So let me just, before I go to the one on the chat line, I want to go here and just answer this one. So if somebody will say, I don't have money right now to pay for it, your answer is, if you don't have money right now and my program will help you making money, and I already offered you a discounted price or a discounted entry or a free trial or a reduced entry point, and this will take you for 2 to 3 months or 1 month. And during this month, you can figure it out and you'll be able to use the expertise and the learning to make money. So this is one way to talk about the cash flow. If somebody will say, I don't have cash and I don't want to use my credit card, the immediate answer could be along the line of, I agree with you. You may not want to use your credit card. However, if you cannot afford your credit card because of the small entry fees you have, you will never afford having it because you will never have money because you don't have the right system. This kind of questions and answers are rational to your program. So if you are in a business coaching, if you are in a personal coaching, if you are in energy work, if you are in a decision-making coaching, if you are in any of these areas, you will be able to answer these questions in the context you have. So if I don't pay right now, I will demonstrate to you that if you use my system, you'll be a better person making money or making money, whatever it is. The other class of questions will be the delaying questions. So one of them is, I need to think about it. Or in a different way, I like the offer, but I will not join this time and I will wait for your next workshop or your next opening. So here you need to talk about urgency. And the second one is, how do you think about it? So if somebody will come and say, I need to think about it, say, yes, great. If you want to think about something, you have to get more information about it. So if you sign up, you will get your material, and you sign up, you have a money back guaranteed, or you can cancel within the next 10 days. And you will walk away with all the description, all the material, all subscription to my websites, or based on whatever program you have. And this will allow you to make informative decisions of thinking about it. So you can evaluate the learning versus the value. And if somebody say, oh, I don't want to join today and I want to join next time, the response will be, as you've seen in my offer, our pricing or our investment or your investment is limited time investment for today only or till a specific time. So what about you sign up right now? And when you sign up right now, you will book a spot, and once you book a spot in the system, you can come next time with the same price as of today, because the pricing are always increasing before the next offer. So if you understand this kind of I need to think about it, or how we can work it out, you have to understand that when you carve your offer, carving the offer was not a haphazard, was not just I was sitting on the beach and just, oh yeah, or not here. I was sitting in Canada, we don't have beaches here. I was sitting on the lake, or I was sitting on the ski hill, and I came up with this. No, it didn't work like that. I did not come with the sequence of the irresistible offer in this way because I was on the ski hill. I was high on the ski hill. No, I came up because we have other factors are built in, which you can discover right now. So when you position your offer in the same way of make it sweet and sweeter and sweeter, you can use this offer to address the future forecasted objections. So if I need to think about it, it's great. You are losing the option. Remember, in the offer we talk about limited time offer. We talk about bonus. We talk about having a book. So I would say if you give out meditation, like my good friend from Edmonton who is in the program here, and she gave out meditation, she should say along the line with, you know what? So what about you basically download my meditation audio, which come with the offer for free, or is part of the bonus of today, and along the meditation you can think about the program. And at any time you want to call me back to cancel or to not charging your card within the next 10 days or so, you can think about, you can have a better environment. So when I come with an offer and I say the offer has sweet, or sweeter, which basically discounts, when I provided bonuses, when I provide these extras, when I provided limit time offer, when I provide guarantees, I am putting the whole circle to address these objections. The question is, and remind the audience with these factors of the offer. The question is, should I say the guarantee, or I bring it after the objections? If you bring it after the objections, people will not take you serious, because this was not part of the previous deal. They will feel you came up with these concepts to persuade them. But if I showed them everything and I repeat the proactively addressing objections to them again, it works again with the adult learning. You are basically summarizing everything into one slide, which called proactively addressing objection. And I recommend this to be only one slide. You can have a smaller font, you can have so many questions on it, you can have different colors, or you can make them bold for the answers and the questions are, or you can make them a regular color black and you bold effective words or specific words. And I want to also encourage you to put more objections here, but I want to also talk another objection. Somebody will come and say, and this is we always see in the real estate investment packages, which is usually more than $10,000 a package. Oh, it's great, but I have to talk to my partner. So the immediate answer, because it's great, I have to talk to my partner. The question now is, do we let them talk to their partners? The problem exists in the triggers format. If you understand the trigger quadrant I shared with you, which is a beat, people will have different triggers. So for example, I will go home and say, I think this offer will be good. My partner will say, oh, I feel this offer was good for us. If she feels and I think, and I cannot think her feeling and she cannot feel my thoughts, in this way, there is a no harmony in the discussion. If you feel or if you think, it's different ways. So one of the things which is I want to mention here is one of the things I want to mention here is that one of the things I want to mention here, sorry for someone who was not muted, so I mute them. One of the things I want to mention is if you allow people to talk, you are not in control, and if they will not be able to convey the message. So if you sell a $50,000 or $20,000 or $10,000 offer, if you sell $50,000 offer, you can say, yeah, you know what? What about the following? I will. You can sign up right now. It's guaranteed cancellations. If you notice now, everything I talk about is guaranteed cancellations, okay? Because you need it to get sign up. And you will walk away with the package. And by having the package, you can actually describe the benefit of the programs to your partner. And your partner or a spouse or a wife or a husband, it doesn't matter. Like we just name it as a partner for now. Then I will make it better for you. What about I will jump on a phone call, or I will get my assistant or my team to jump on a phone call. So we will describe the benefits and answer any questions. So you may want to stop at the part which is I want to think about it or I want to discuss it with my partner. That's people, yeah, it's great. Everybody is entitled to discuss it. However, if you walk away with the package where you have all the details, walking away with the package means you have a package of your offer. You have a signing sheet which describe what exactly your offer, which I'm not sure how many of you on this course have actual contracts to sign up and describe the benefit of your program and describe the details of your program. When we talk about real estate investments, you will walk away with a backpack with maybe 20,000 pages worth of documents. And here it will come to another question on the packages. Do I have to have handwritten or hard packages and I kill the trees, or I will have everything online? On killing the trees, by the way, if you don't have business, you don't sell, you don't even have money to water the trees, okay? So you will not have trees. So we insist for specific scenarios that you must have a printed material, very nice, very clean, on a glossy paper. And we provide this service. We have a center here, a copy center, where you can print 50 pages or 100 or 10 pages. You don't need to pay them expensively when they are smaller volume. We can assist you with that if you like. However, what I want to say here is you must have a package, and the package must be in a folder. And when people sign up, they will get the folder, they will get the books, they will get the material, they will get the bonus. So you can elevate or you can address the objections if I want to talk to my partner, my business partner or my life partner about the program before I sign by saying, yes, it's great. However, if you sign up right now, you have always the guarantee to early cancellation, 10 days or whatever it is, and you can have all the material. If you do a low cost programs, which basically people will sign up for free for the first month, which is another model I recommend for specific businesses. You can say, you know, nothing to lose here. You can sign up, and even better, you can also sign your partner, and you can practice the course for the next month at as our guest, because we give you 1 month no cost. And before the end of the month, if you don't like it, you can cancel, and this will give you and your partner a taste of the program. Now, the other question will lead now is, so what if they call me to cancel? You must cancel them. Okay, because if you say this and you don't cancel, everybody in the tribe or everybody in the cohort or everybody in the group will know, and you will not be trustworthy. So speakers or coaches will come and say, oh, but now they have access to our system. It doesn't matter. You know, if somebody will go around and say, I joined so-and-so programs and they give it to me 1 month for free and I learned, but I didn't feel the program is for me, and they cancel me and they let me keep all the material, you can get this testimonial, because the next people who will hear this testimonial, they will trust and be intrigued with your attitude, and they may come to buy from you because you have this attitude. If you talk about providing values for people, it doesn't matter how much or how many you can cancel. What all matters here is, can you provide enough comfort zone to overcome the objection for people to sign up, or to sign up right now for your program, or to sign up for your enrollment sessions. Remember, if you speak to Cell and you collect an email or a phone number, it's early on, it's okay, you don't need to. But if you do it in this way, for membership or for enrollment right away, you need to have the package, you need to have the guarantees, and this is how you use the guarantees, and this is how you can evaluate them. So if you follow up this particular conversation, and for a reason, I did not and I will not list the questions, because I would like you to listen to this course again or this video recording again and think about the different, I believe we covered 7 questions or 7 objections, and phrase the objections with the context of your own offer. You are offering a Kayani healthcare, you are offering a health coach, you are fitness, you are energy, you are business coach, sales coach, doesn't matter, advisory coach, decision-making coach, management coach, change management coach, doesn't matter. You can phrase these areas of objections with your own language, which fit the domain of your expertise. And as I said, if you understand how you position your offer, you will be able to figure it out. Why do we need all the aspects of the offer? Okay, if you agree with that, just please type agree in the chat room, and then we can move to the next part of the learning in this particular course. One thing, there's another one also we can add here before we proceed. This program is overpriced, which is a term for expensive. So if somebody will come and say your program is overpriced, you have to switch the program and talk about the values and the benefits of the program, and how much money people will make by joining your program, or how much money people will lose by not taking actions on time. I said 2 things: how much money people will make joining your offer, and how much money people will lose if they don't join your offer. Where did we discuss this particular aspect of the offer? If you remember, in the challenges and in the information nuggets, we have to address the 4 quadrants. So one of the top left quadrant, it talks about value and the dollars. So if you speak about it in this area at that time, and now you try to emphasize that if you will talk about your value along money. So if somebody will say, oh, it's overpriced, you come and say, no, it's not overpriced. People may have objection, may have understanding is overpriced. However, if you compare it to these other programs and you compare it to how much value you have from the program, you can understand the pricing model. And just to speak on the pricing model, professional companies will sell the same product for different agencies in a different way. So if you are offering a service, a catering service, when they go to establishment of large companies, they will have a packages for the large companies, which is exactly the same food, which is much different packaging than smaller individuals or a smaller family. And in every single organization, if you help an organization to increase 10% of their cost, of their profit, and the organization is making $1 million, this is worth $100,000. So if you help them making another $100,000 extra, they could not make it without you. You will be able to use. You can charge them 10 to 20% of the increment. However, if you work with a company of $100 million and you help them making 10% more, this is a $10 million extra. So you are entitled of $1 million to $2 million, which is 10 to 20%. And you will realize that agencies and consultants, when they go to different programs, different groups, they will price their offers in a different way, because every single level has every single customer, every single audience will have different value. Will you believe that I can give you a $500 training, which can help you make $1 million? People will not believe that. But the truth is, the course I showed you here, and we still have a session next week, and we may have an extra session, optional session in the week after for people who likes to have it. If you apply all the learning for this course in any kind of sales, you can sell and increase your sales, millions and 10 millions and 20 millions. What you are missing is not much. What you are missing is the time to put it together. So away from this course and the value of this course, you have to go, when somebody say you are overpriced, you have to go back and say why, if you join, how much dollars you will make, and if you don't join, you stay where you are, and how much money you will lose. And if you come to me on a one-on-one, how much you will charge. And if I remember correctly, this was part of the this was part of the product, of the irresistible offer. The other question will be for individuals who makes workshop. So if you make, or if you offer work group or workshops, one of the questions will be, why a workshop and not one-on-one? So if somebody will say, why a workshop and not one-on-one? You can have an answer written. Remember, the proactively address objections is one slide. It's called frequently asked questions from our customers, from our current customers. You put the question on, you read the answer. So what about the question, why a workshop, not one-on-one? So you come and say, as simple as Karen and so many people I know, what they say? They say, you know what? The full content of this workshop, I can deliver it for you in 5 days. And my day, I will charge $1,000 per day or $5,000 per day. So if I charge you $5,000 per day times 5 days is $25,000. And when I charge you $2,000 to attend 3 days workshop, plus you will have the food, and plus you will have the interaction with the other audience where you will learn also from them, the $2,000 is a good offer compared to paying $25,000 one-on-one and you'll be bored with me in a room. The question is, can you deliver? Does it make sense for you? to deliver 3 days workshop content in 5 days one-on-one? The answer is no. Because when you have 3 days workshop, the content will be much less because of the interactions or the activities and the contribution from the other speakers, audience and what have you over there. And then the coffee breaks and lunch breaks and all kind of breaks where you have to actually break from the content. The 3 days workshop content will not exceed 1 day or 1 day and a half of one-on-one. It will not even be near the territories of 2 days one-on-one. A good example, if you disagree with me, is if I give you an exercise, write down the top 3 things you like, and now can we share? Write down the top 3 values. Write down what you value, and now we can share and discuss. Sharing and discussing in a group will be 15 to 20 minutes of other contributors to the forum. While if I am one-on-one, I will just listen to you in 1 minute and move on. So if somebody will come and say, why a workshop, why not one-on-one? You can always address it from the value proposition. You can address it from the interaction with others. You can also address it from the no confronting feelings. Like if you are dealing with personal issues and I'm across of the room sitting with you, I'm actually confronting you all the time. So if you participate in a group discussion, it will be less confronting, which basically a better situation to deal with different things. So whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say, look at these objections as potential objections. And I want to come here and say, here are the objections. Here is how I answer them. And here how you can understand my answer. One clever way, also we see it. If you remember, we talked about the 7 pillars of mindless compliance. One of the 7 pillars was likeness and commitment. The second one. So at the end of every answer, you have the title to say, do you guys agree? Or raise your hand if you agree on that. This will give you, if people will agree and say yes, this will give you social proof. If they raise their hand, it will give you social proof. If it gives you if it gives you likeness as well, because people will like what you are saying. So if you talk about commitment, social proof, and likeness from the pillars of persuasions, remember, after one or after each of these questions and answers, after each one or each two, you have to have the interaction from the audience to say, yes, we agree. Okay? Remember that. And if we do customized work for you guys on your specific presentation, you will always see a checklist of the 7 pillars, and it will always say in each one of the 7 pillars how you can apply it to this particular slide. So you have to consider the concept of reciprocity. Give forward, you get back. Great. Is your slide educative enough? Do you provide enough information? I bet you all of your slides will provide it, so you are good there. But remember the likeness, remember the commitment. Now, some people will come and say, yeah, can we just print a handout in the audience and give it up front and then there ask them to sign up or to check the paper? I would tell you, yeah, from commitment is good option. However, if you are talking one-on-one or one-to-many, sorry, you need to have a heart connection. So you want to reduce all distractions from the audience, and we'll talk more about these distractions next time. So why should I offer a workshop? It's another question you can add to the proactively answering like frequently asked questions. You can have 3, you can have 5, you can have 9, you can have 11, you can have whatever number, as long as the number is odd. And remember, Walmart made a full study and understands that in North America, our audience will accept and will engage better with a slide which has 3 to 7 bullets. So you may want to limit it to 7. You may want to combine 2 objections together, but the bottom line is you need to have frequently asked questions. I need to pause here for a minute and go back and ask each one of you, do you have a frequently asked questions on your website? If you don't have a frequently asked questions on your website, please go and write one. Make a 1-page frequently asked questions, because frequently asked questions is one of the most creative way, the clever way to proactively addressing objections. Okay? I will come to Mariana questions in the next slide. And as I said, today we are talking about 2 different things. One, proactively addressing objection. The scenario is as follows. I am on the stage. I am in my own presentation. And I will come in and I will have a slide called, "These are the common questions asked by our customer." You define you have a customer. Or this is the frequently asked questions of our customers. Or this is our questions from our customers, or our loyal customers, or our recurrent customers, whatever you want to call it. The whole point is you want to talk about the objection and speak to it. Then what will happen after that? If you go to the irresistible offer, you will realize that the offer you will repeat the offer and do some other steps, and then you ask them to sign up now. When they sign up now, by that time they need to have the signing form in their hands. They don't sign electronically. They don't sign on a computer. They don't sign on their phone. They don't sign on an iPad. They need to have a carbon copy material, self-carbonized forms for them to fill and sign. The forms can be legal size or letter size, it doesn't matter. Okay? Legal size is better because it gives you a legal perspective. It's a longer page, which is very painful to carry. But I also use standard letter size self-carbonized forms, and I know they may be expensive. It's like maybe $1.50 to $2 in a smaller form factor or a smaller quantity. However, if you would like to have access to these forms, I'm more than happy to provide you with access. So we can print them. Now, on the back of this form, you need to have your terms and conditions. You need to have the contracting aspect of what will happen. So all your guarantees has to be there. The cancellation policy has to be there. What people are getting, it has to be there. And it's Marcel, I agree with him. It has to be like unreadable, the small print. They call it the small print. So you need to have a term and conditions when people sign up to your program, how they can cancel, what are penalty if they cancel late, what will happen if they get material, how they return the bonus. There's so many aspects in it. And I have here one, which is the one we personally use, which has at least 3 satisfaction guarantees, and it has 24 terms and conditions with phone numbers and email and address, and it has some reserves and some rights at the very beginning. So it's a font, I believe 7 or 8 in ours, and it's very clear. If you don't have terms and conditions, develop one. If you need help with if you need help with terms and conditions, reach out to me, and we have samples which we can work out with you and we can adapt it to you. But terms and conditions are very important, because if you don't have terms and conditions, you cannot run a business. People will look at you as amateur. And to be honest with you, I've seen it. I see individuals will come in with a signing form, and the signing form will be basically half a page, roughly cut from a double side pages. There is no term and condition in the back. It's just one side. If I hand it to you as my credit card, nothing will happen. And if you are professional enough and you have, I don't mean anything was professional enough, but if you are in the stage where you have an event manager who manage your events, and they get you for a commission or for an affiliate permission or stuff like that, you will need 3 pages at least. I believe it's white, yellow, and red or pink, because you will keep the you will keep the white, you will give the yellow to your affiliate partner who put you on the stage, and then the red will end up with the customer or whatever it is, you know, like you can write on each one of them. So customizing these forms is very important, is very presentable. And as I said, if you need them, reach out to me. If you want to go them to a local print shop, you anticipate to print, I believe, minimum 500 or 1,000, and they will not cost less than $1.50 to $2 each. While we can do it in a more cost effective and a very less quantity. Like we can do like 1 or 2 for you. It's not an issue. But the point is, you want to make it simple. So let's roll back. You have your sequence in front of you: hook, express, expertise, title, share story, agenda, share to your client, review agenda, share irresistible offer, and proactively addressing objection, which is commonly asked questions or frequently asked questions, and you continue your offer. So proactive addressing objection was actually an entry in the sequence of the irresistible offer. And then what? You say sign up now, you conclude the offer. Before you say sign up now, while you conclude the offer, you have to give, some assistant has to go around and give the sign up sheet to the crowd. The crowd can be 4, 5, can be 10, can be 20, can be 3,000, it doesn't matter. This step has to happen. Now, in Go Motivated, they will tell you, go to the tables to sign up. Get Motivated will get 2,000 to 5,000 in the room. So they can lose few hundreds. But if you have 50 people in the room, you don't want to lose one, okay? So you have to address that you get people to give the forms. One more comment on the forms. The forms shall be numbered. It cannot be unnumbered. So it shall be sequentially numbered. And if event organizer is doing a partnership with you on revenue of that night, they need to know how many forms walk in the floor and how many forms have been filled and how many empty forms you have. And that's why people usually count the number of people in rows, and they will prepare the forms and they hand them to the one on the right or the left of the form of the row, and they keep handing to each other. So there are mechanisms. So you don't just basically give like 20 forms every row and you end up having more forms at the end, because the forms are precious. And you have to say at the end, if you don't fill, each one of you have to return the form. If you don't even want to get the form, the fill, give it to me back. The form shall not have a price. They have to write the price down to get confirmation or to get their engagement with it. And we can talk about the form. We'll talk about it more actually next time. Then what you do after that is you have to go and you say, sign up now. If you have any questions, come talk to me. I will be standing by the door. And when you say standing by the door, you will effectively want to close the deal using one-on-one closing techniques. And yes, Mariana, feel, felt, found, it can be used it will be used dramatically here. So when you look at the room layout, which is a topic we'll talk about it next time as well, the room need to have entry point and exit points, which are very well controllable. So you can get people easy from every door. However, if you have multiple doors, you need to have the closing door in the back, and you tell them, please sign up the forms, fill the form, sign it up. Some of us will actually walk them through the form one by one, write your name here, write your address here, spell out your credit card here, and you go step by step. Some of us will just tell them, okay, here's the form, please sign up. I will be at the end of the back of the room to get the forms from you, and you will have the tables in the back of the room as well. And we will talk about the most effective layout of a room, because there are some room structures which are not effective. So one of them is elliptic curve or rectangular table. These are not effective room for this kind of presentations, and not even effective for delivery. Like this boardroom approach is not effective for one presentation delivery. And I will talk about this in details tomorrow, next time. So when we talk about closing techniques, you will be standing by the door. You must have only one exit door where you will be standing there. You can even have your photo booth. Like some of us will have a photo banner where people will just label everything, and then people will stand by, so people can take photos for the banner. This photo banner will be by the door. And each one going out, they will either hand you or hand your assistant on the table the forms, or if they have questions, they will line up to talk to you. Rule number one, you don't need to spend more than 15 to 20 seconds per person, because you have to make eye contact with everybody leaving and say thank you. If somebody will come to ask you questions, you'll be surprised that people will come ask you similar question to the one which you had in the frequently asked questions. So if you understand the impact or the psychology of receiving, people will have their biased attention, people will have their biased interpretation, people will have their uncontrolled influence, and people have their biased retention. So when you conclude with the frequently asked questions, you are basically driving their biased attention into specific aspect of objection. So the one who was highly resisting what you have, they will come to you and they ask you same exact question. And at that point you can answer, oh, I know how you feel, everybody felt, however they got, and you talk about the benefits. And you will be surprised that each one, there are actually people who will come and say, oh, so I want to take your word for it. Will you guarantee that I will get my money back? You can say, yes, I guarantee. Oh, much better than that, I will give you my personal email. So if you have any issues canceling, send me an email and I will take care of you. So when you stand there, you'll have questions. You don't need, if somebody has more than one question, you answer the second question and you ask them to contact you in a later, because you have to go through the room. So if the room have 100 people and 40 of them sign up, maybe 20, 30 will not sign up, but you have like 20 to 30 to ask you a question. You need to get through this whole people in less than 5 to 10 minutes maximum. So the one-on-one closing techniques, one of the biggest challenge in it is your emotion. You have to be able to answer the questions in the right tone, same enthusiasm. You don't feel bad about the question. You don't feel overwhelmed. You have to be happy. You have to speak your personality to these questions. And this personality has to match the proactively addressing objections. The other part of the effective closing the deal is, what about the people on the back table? Many of us, and I believe you have been seeing this, and please say yes if you have been seeing what I will explain in a minute now. Many of us will go to these events, and after you go to the event, what you will do? You will basically hand in the blank form. And the assistant at the back table, what they will say, thank you. And many of us will get our spouses or our friends to assist on the back table. My point to you is, the one on the back table is also responsible for closing, one-on-one closing technique. So if somebody will come to the back table and will provide a blank form, it's obligation of the individual who receives the blank form to ask the question, why you did not fill this form. And if somebody will say, oh, I don't feel I need this program, or I don't think I need this program. Remember, feel and think. So if somebody will say, I don't think I need this program, say, yeah, I'm surprised that you don't think you need this program. You have been here and you've seen everybody and you agree on all the pain and you're basically participating. So what did make you, or what does make you under the impression for not having this program? So you need to train the one in the back behind the tables to be able to persuade people to sign up to the form. And this is why I say, if you have these events, if you invest in having these events, you have to invest in us or in somebody professionally to stand in the back room and get the forms filled, help you close one-on-one. So you may not need to have 2-3 tables. You need only to have one table with one extra person. So when somebody will hand in the empty form or the black form, they have to ask why you did not fill the forms. Sometimes we say, go hand in the form and you get a trophy or you get a USB key or some token, you know, like it's function of how expensive you are selling a program or where your tier programs is. So if you are in the $10,000, $15,000 program, you can afford having a $1 pen or $1, $2 swag, you call it, okay, swag. So you say, you know what, guys, you can go give this back and each one will get a swag or get a lunch bag or get a briefcase or get whatever. It's interesting they do this from the US, and I'll explain to you what will happen. So you will go there and say each one will get a USB key or a camera key or a camera or a USB camera or something. And the whole reason for them to get you to these swags is you will have individual who will take the form back from you, filled or unfilled, and give you the swag. The one who sign up, they will go to another line and they will have a full bag of other stuff, okay? When they ship this material here to Canada, the Canadian mentality is very giving. And because they are very giving, the Canadian mentality, what they will do is they will get a table and they will put all these swags on the table. So before even getting to the room, we get whatever we need to exchange of the blank form, which is an immediate demonstration that the management team who run the show here don't understand the system, don't understand the sales process, don't understand that these swags have been made through border for a reason. And I remember, I think Marcel was with me in one, and I was on my own in a few others. I remember in one of them, it was a group from Chicago having a presentation, and I was sent over to do some assessment for them. And I sent back my contractor 7 tokens. Like they had a camera, a USB camera or a flash camera, which is like 7-8 years ago. This was like a good giveaway. So I was able to get 5 or 7 of these. And what I did is, with my evaluation form, I sent 7 boxes of the swag. And this group did a dramatic change, because it was a demonstration that if I walk early on, I will not be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like imagine you have a small boxes like a laptop, a charger, or whatever size it is. About like, if you know the charger for the Mac books, they are same size, and each one of them has a camera in it, and it has like a 256 megabyte flash in it, and you can USB charging it. And you walk in and you're supposed to have 1 bare form, and somebody will just walk away with 7, because the same thing is they don't understand. People don't understand. People don't have a playbook. People don't invest enough time to write instructions clear, that you don't give these giveaways. Same things will happen in shows. Like I will go to a show, and usually they will give you different levels of swags. So there's this heat insulated mugs, which is very, very nice. Like it's very nice to have, because they can have like the cup, and the cup has a plastic top, and you can drink from it, and it keep your drinks warm. And I use them all the time because they don't spill in the car and stuff like that, and they look fancy, you know. So these swags have been made because the original designer for the sales process says, once you have somebody filling the survey form, you give them this swag. So I will walk to these particular places and say, you know what, can I have the swag? I like it. People will give it to me. They don't even ask me for my business card, because they are not trained salespeople. They are not trained as a trade show personnel. These people are just trained to be happy. Like there is no training whatsoever. This is when the companies will go and drag individuals from their offices, because they have this problem called a trade show. So when you have one-on-one closing, coming back, you will step down from your stage. You will go back to the door. The door can be at the back of the room with a clear row through it, or a side of the room with a clear access or a clear rows to it. Doesn't matter. And we will have layouts next time. And you will stand there. Every other door must have a sign, is all exit, no exit through this door, and it should be locked if you have in a big hotel room. And then from that point, you will be making eye contact, and if people come ask you questions, which most likely will be along the side of the questions you had from the frequently asked questions, you can use the feel, felt, or you can use accept, acknowledge, advanced models, which we can talk about in a different, we talk about in different courses. You also have to understand that there are 26 objections that your price is too high. And you have to be trained in that, because now you are not the one asking the question. Now you are the one who is entitled to the question. The point I want to make you to understand, if somebody will tell you the same objection 3 times, it means this objection is real. So if somebody comes and says, this is too expensive, too expensive, too expensive 3 times in 3 consequent questions, you have to move on and say, oh yeah, you know what? It's really expensive. If somebody will come say, I don't need it, I don't need it 3 times, you just move on, because these people will not be able to 3 times objections means the objections is real. Otherwise, no doesn't mean no. I do have a podcast which talks about, I believe, 10 or 20 one-on-one objections. You can listen to it. I do have my book, which is Sales and the Closing Deal, which I have more than 83 objections. One of the common objections we talk about, which you can hear it all the time, why should I listen to you? Or why should I join to your program? And the immediate answer for that, as a clever, smart seller and the closing, you say, oh, I know how you feel. Everybody felt that they don't need to join. However, when they joined, they found 1, 2, 3, 4. So you basically feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. Everybody felt it, and you say. And at this point, you should be able to walk away with so many forms. And I repeat again, if you have helper must not be your spouses or your friends. It must be your business partners or co-workers or employees. If you don't have a partners, you come partner with us and we will come stand in the back for you. Each one in the room helping you must have a schedule. At what time the doors will be closed, no more entry. At what time the forms will be distributed if you are doing enrollment forms or selling through presentation forms, and what are the overcoming objections techniques to tell people once you collect the blank forms. Some of the objections can be handled as simple as they direct people to talk to you. And they sometimes say, oh, I don't have time. I have really to run now because I'm late on my next meeting. You say, you know what? I understand everybody's crunched for time. However, if you have been here for 90 minutes or for 45 minutes or for 1 hour, spending 2-3 minutes to get clarity on what you may miss will be a value for you. So I would recommend you to stand in line. Remember, if the line in front of you is more than 3 to 4 people, the people in the back will leave. So you have to go quickly, 15 to 30 to 20 seconds per individual. Some of them will come and ask you to take a photo with you or a selfie with you. It's great. You ask them to come to the back of the stage. There's so much I can talk to you about it, how you can close the deal effectively. And it just takes training. If you train your mind, if you train yourself to close the deal, you will close it. And if you have any questions, more than happy to answer them. You can put them in the chat line. You can email them to me. You can put them on the Facebook group. I know that some of you are very active there. Some of you are not, are sending me private info messages. It doesn't matter. One other questions which are commonly, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat room. I would be happy to address them before we close. One more question I was asked, should I have a survey? Should I have a survey? The question will come from a different angle saying, oh yeah, you know, I know these guys and they always do a survey on the quality of my presentation. If you present to sell from the stage or to enroll people, you cannot have a survey. Sorry. You cannot tell people. The survey is how much conversion you have. Okay? However, there are other sales systems and methodologies. So if you are selling an administration of a company and you make the workshop for the company personnel, and on the second day, third day, you will meet with the CEO of the company to sign a contract. In these models, after you do the presentation in the same sequence I have here for you, you don't give them a form to fill, you give them a survey. And what you need to do is you need to send the survey back to your office assistant headquarters, or you do it yourself, and you need to analyze the survey, and the survey must have a specific questions, which is, I was with a couple of you guys in a workshops over the last week, and we had been handed surveys, and the surveys were wrong, because the survey, to convey the message to the organizers, must have a question to say, would you use this system? Would you recommend using this technique? What's the value of this technique? So if you have a survey which does not say, would you recommend, or would you use, or, this is not the right surveys. Because what did you learn from this is good. Will you use it? You know? So if you are running the system, if you are running your sales structure to be able to attract large corporations, talk to me, because the content is the same, sequences usually are the same, the spin has to be different. And remember, if you have a survey, you cannot have a sales form, because your audience are ignorant to your value, and they need only one thing. I for ignorant means one in Roman, and one means one thing. If you want to give them a survey, you give them a survey. If you want to give them sign-up sheet, you give them sign-up. You give them one. You don't ask them to fill two things. And we still see it. Like, we go to events and see, oh yeah, the organizer wants you to sign this survey, and this survey, I remember I was in one and I was asked to put 4 surveys together, which I laughed, because why do I put 4 surveys together? Why you don't get together and put one form? So people are having different interest in different things, and I don't know. It's just the nature of the game, and you do what you do. At the end of the day, I say, all what I share with you is observation, education of my personal expertise, augmented with some science which justifies the actual practice. The program is yours. You can take all what I say, think about it. If you want to apply it, you'll see transformation for sure. I guarantee that, because it demonstrates transformation for others. So I guarantee that. And if you don't want to apply it, it's your choice. You can decide not to do it. It's your choice. It's great. I enjoy having you here. And let me know if you need any other help. Saying so, I will see you next time in a week from now. And we will conclude the 6th session. It will be tips. It will be more fun. And then, as I promised, because of the technical difficulties we had, we will have a second, one more presentation in the week after. And I will send you a schedule for it to be most likely the same day, but the following week as well, which could be a review over open forum. So I can basically compensate you for not to be online last week. At this point, I will open it up. If any of you have questions, you'd like to ask for the group, so I'll be more than happy to answer them, or as discussing. If you wanna have the questions on the chat line, tell me and I will read it as well, and I will answer it. So give it a few minutes. I will mute myself so you guys can go if you have questions. Please, if you have questions, please unmute yourself, and or I can actually unmute all. Any questions, guys?
I caught this is Richard.
Hi, Richard. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it just worked out that way. You were talking a lot about having a table at the back of the room, and we have an event this Saturday night in Calgary with 40 people are coming, 40. And so I think what you're saying is this pretty much applies to pretty much any meeting we have. We can have some kind of event in the back of the room where people can leave. And my theory is you never send people away with empty-handed. You always send them away with something in their hand that they can refer to.
Yes, which is I love about what you do, because you must give them something in their hand. And the use of the back of the room table is to direct the crowd near the door. And if you are asking them to sign up for a next event, or you ask them to sign up for anything else, you can control the objection of not filling the room. Okay? So I can, by exchanging the swag or whatever, I can overcome the objections of not filling the room, of not filling the form.
Okay. All right, so we definitely will have something in the back of the room they can take with them. Plus, you know, advertising for what's coming as well. Something to take home. I've always had a theory that if you put something in their hand, they leave with some reference or some way to get back a hold of you, or at least to spread the information about, hey, I saw this person, and here's a flyer that he gave us on the way out. Yes.
And if you have an ebook, or you have a, like I know Gary will give out, he will create a very simple book, like 16 sentence of success or so, and he will basically hand this book as his own business card. Like, you know, when you do like very low cost or cost effective books, and then you can hand them as your business card, so people will walk away with a smaller book. This is another idea of giving. If you don't have sheets or whatever, you can actually have this kind of approach.
Okay.
No, I'm happy to see you from the
nice. It just worked out. I'm glad too.
San Diego, that's right. We are here. It's very cold here in Calgary, so
I'll be in Calgary Thursday. I wouldn't want you to be. I wouldn't want you to be cold all by yourself. You know.
Okay. Okay. See you this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Rick, do you have any feedback?
Yes, I just had a quick question. Can you quickly review how you'd use the SMS with VoIP to actually do interactive interaction with the audience? I remember I was talking about using surveys. You said perhaps use an interactive SMS somewhere in the middle of the presentation.
Okay, so the question is how to use SMS texting. So if you are from the Infusionsoft or ClickFunnels group, there is a package called Fix Your Funnel. And there are so many similar to it, which they call it, you can have a text bot. And the text bot will be basically, you can text to this particular number, and the number will come back with question and say, hello, what's your first name? What's your email? And then it will send you the actual ebook or whatever material you have. So this service may include a monthly fees and may include 5 cents per text. So each one of these will be like 15 to 25 cents based on how long the text. I know Constant Contact can do this service for free, or is included in the package if you are doing it in the US, and is only US only. Now, if we don't have Infusionsoft, or we don't have HubSpot, or we don't have any of this service, what can we do? What I say is you can download a voice over IP phone application from Google Play or from your iOS, and simply ask the people to text their email to this new number. And then you can manually or get an assistant to pick up the number, the emails, and send back the information. If you don't even want to invest your time in that, and you are okay to share your cell phone number, you can basically ask them to text your cell phone. So the ultimate way is to get an SMS communication package back, and then you can have this to your CRM on Infusionsoft or on HubSpot or whatever you want to have or whatever you want to use. It will help you with emailing campaigns and so far and what have you. But if you are not there and you don't feel you are there, the other two alternatives may do the trick for you. And I hope this answers the question.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, any other questions, or we should close the session and then start again next time?
No, that was good. Thank you very much.
Okay, so see you next time, guys, and same time on Tuesday, and I will have the recording ready for you by tomorrow on the website, and looking forward for any questions via email. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.